Assalamu alaikum, Belfield. Welcome back for another tutorial on how to do a geography assessment. Back by popular demand, because last time I did this, a lot of you came up to me and said you found it really helpful. And actually, when I went to check your marks, a lot of people did a lot better than what they had done in previous tasks. So obviously this demonstration is helpful, so I'm going to do it again. I'm just going to jump straight into it. So the task is asking you to essentially conduct a survey of all the different electronical equipment inside your home. And so in this first part, what you need to do is just simply walk around your house, either with your laptop in hand, or if you just keep walking back and forth and write everything down. And you just need to essentially go around and count everything up. So I'm just sort of ballparking this right now from what I can think of. I'm not going to do the whole table, but it's good to get a snapshot of where you are with your home currently. Now, as we come down the survey, we've got 7 questions. So questions 2 to 7 are written answers. I want you to consider the length of writing that you do for this. So let's say that in this question, how many of the items you indicated in the table above could be either reused, repaired, or given away. I'm going to tell you that a low level answer would just do this. Yeah, they would just write down a number and say how many of the items. A kind of mid-range might say many of the items could be repaired or replaced. Right, and then you kind of write 1 or 2 sentences like that. I'm going to do let me zoom in. Let's see what a high quality answer might look like. I might write, of the various types of electronics found in my house, many are single-use items. Okay. For example, mind the spelling mistake, sorry. Let's say I've got a Kmart, the brand name is always Enco, fan in my room. Let's say it cannot be repaired, right? Because Kmart doesn't have a service, like a servicing repair function in their business. Of course, you could add in a comment that it can be repaired by yourself if it happens to break down. But more than likely when you get a Kmart fan and it stops working, we all just chuck it out, don't we? We just toss it out on the street and wait for the council to pick up. And so you could add those comments in there, but I'm going to continue. So however, let's say I have a MacBook, has a warranty feature. Okay, so that's an electronic that has warranty. That is still valid because sometimes it runs out. And so therefore it can be repaired more easily, right? Now this is the start of an advanced type of a response. I wouldn't be done here. You could always add more. Don't go for a full page per question. Let's just keep this, maybe 4 to 8 lines maximum. Now, I'm not gonna go through every single question, right, for this survey, but that's the type of thinking you need to do when you actually go into these responses, because that's essentially what I'm looking for in a high level mark and a high level response. So you're going to finish off the rest of this survey. Obviously, when you come to question 5, you've got a sliding scale. Let's say you rate your house as a 7, just to indicate that. I might just bump that up to a size 33, just so it stands out for me. Highlight it, do whatever you want. And then you come down to your report. So you finished all of the writing for your survey. That could take you maybe half an hour, 45 minutes if you do the counting and everything included. And then you come to your report. Now, the report is probably the most important part because it's worth the most. Currently it's worth 15 marks. That could slide up in scale, but either way, it's going to be the heaviest part of your overall marks. So you've got 4 questions in this report. I've spaced them out on 4 different pages. We will see who pays attention because I'm going to suggest a formatting recommendation at the end of the video. So as I see reports come in, submitted, I'm going to know who actually watched the full length of this video. So this first question is asking us to explain the concept of what e-waste is, right? So we've got, just tell us what the concept is and include some examples of products that come under the classification. So when I'm going to do my example here, we need to think about using figures, because if you've looked into the notification, you would know that you need to use figures. And so if I need to include some examples of products, one of the images I might use is, I've already found this website here. So the Global E-Waste Statistics Partnership. And it tells me like what is e-waste. And I can get my definition from here. I wouldn't copy paste an entire paragraph. I just use little bits and pieces. But let's say I wanted to use this figure to help me. Well, I right click and I copy the image. Now when I go back into my Google Docs, I want to go insert drawing. Now I'm gonna recommend this to you guys. You can just simply go ahead and copy paste it in. That's fine, but I'm going for a high level report and you're gonna see why. So I'm gonna insert a new drawing. Then I'm gonna Control V, so I'm gonna paste it in. And then what I'm gonna do is add a text box. I'm gonna draw that text box just below. Because in geographical reports, we like to have captions underneath images. Now, Google Docs doesn't have a function to actually do this. This is sort of the easiest way. Now, I've got this image here and we need to name it. So we always name our images just in terms of like figures, right? So I'm going to call this figure 1 and I'll put it in red so that you can, see that it's the example text. So if I went for a low level report, I wouldn't even be bothered doing this. I would just paste in the image and go along my merry way. If I was doing an okay report, my caption might just be like this, just e-waste. But if I wanted a high level report, you could write like figure 1, it's an array or a combination of e-waste products, materials. You've got cords and cables in there, to desk fans and computers. Now I wouldn't finish there because I'm a high level student and I want to include where this actually came from. And I'm going to do what's called a citation. So it's going to look something like that, right? However, I need to change this actual word citation to tell me where the site came from. So if I flick back over to this website, I know that the group is called the Global E-Waste Statistics Partnership. And so I'm going to write that as my citation because these are the guys that gave me this image. So the Global E-Waste, let's see if I can remember that, the Global, E-Waste, goodness me, whatever, Statistics Partnership, right? Goodness me. Okay. I think that's looking pretty good now. And I might just shove it up there to... Cool. So now I've got my figure. And you can resize and do whatever you need. Move it around. So now that I've got my figure, I know that I can then refer to it. Yeah? So then in my text at some point after I've sort of explained it, I could write, as you can see by figure 1, e-waste products, e-waste products can be defined as, I'm going to insert my definition. Okay. Boy, I'm not spelling good today. And so that's what my example is going to look like. Hopefully that makes a little bit more sense and you can move this around however you need to. Obviously, you need to include some examples, and this actual section may take up, 12, 15 lines. I don't know. It's up to you. You know what a high-level task is going to be, but I really want you to get into this habit of actually naming your diagrams and properly including the full-length caption for them. So I'm going to leave question 1 there. So that's the concept of what it is. As I scroll down, I get to explain some strategies that can be implemented at home, school, and workplaces. Now, I've actually bolded and underlined this because, again, if I'm a high-level student, I'm going to want to include strategies in the home, in the school, and in workplaces because it's here in the question. Mid to low level might just give me generic strategies, but let's see if we can get some of you kids doing some specifics. So again, we need to have some sort of figure because if you've read the notification, you know that you need to include at least 4 images. So I've already found this. So this is one of the strategies, is the St. Peter's Community Recycling Centre. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to screenshot just this image so I can show a map of where this is located. So in order to do that, I've got this function that I can use if I'm using a Windows computer. So I go Windows key Shift S. It's just the fast way to do it. And then you can just simply click and drag. And I'm just going to snap that in there. So I'm going to come back over to my Google Docs. Now I could just simply paste this in and off I go, but that's low level. Let's go high level. So we're going to add in our drawing and we're going to paste it in here. Then we're going to add in our text box. So you can draw in your text box here. Now you got to make sure that when you're labeling your figures, you actually have them in order as they appear through the document. So we're now up to figure 2. And let me make that red. Sorry guys, just doing a bit of formatting so you can all see. So I could just write recycling plant. That's like a low level, like it's fine, but let's make this high level. So how could I describe this image? I could actually write the name, St. Peter's Community Recycling Center. And I've done my research. I know that it's a designated spot for locals to drop off their e-waste. Okay, to DORP. Okay, and then I need to do this whole thing here. Remember, citation 2024. I'm saying 2024 because it's very current and update images. So where does this actually come from? Well, I know that this screenshot was from Google Maps, right? And so that would be my high level caption. Save and close, so that way it gets slotted in. Just drop it in size a bit, wrap the text. So what can I actually say about this? Now, if it's asking for some strategies, let me zoom in. If it's asking for some strategies, like a low level would be like recycle, reuse, reduce, But we're not there. We're going up. Mid, I don't know. You could just say like, we should recycle, or what would you say? We should stop buying electronics, and instead buy second hand off Facebook Marketplace. Like that's middle tier. You've kind of given me some strategies, descriptions. Let's get top tier. So if it's telling you plural strategies, we're going to be doing a couple. So you'd start off by saying one of the strategies that can be used to reduce the amount of see how I'm like properly spelling out like the question. To reduce the amount of, like I'm rewording the question here, to reduce the amount of e-waste, what could I say? Produced, because it's the production, so it's created. To stop it, the amount produced is to recycle and reuse these products. I can't spell today, man. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And then I'd refer to my figure. So figure 2 shows one of the drop-off points organized by, I think it's Sydney Council. Maybe it's Sydney Council. Oh no, Inner West Council, sorry. By Inner West Council to encourage recycling in the community. Boom. Thank you. So that already is a much higher level response than just like dot points. And this is one of the strategies. You can do this multiple times. Cool. Done. Let's go to question 3. So here they're asking for some examples of products and then explain the recycling process. Oops. So it's asking for what is the process? Yeah. So I have done my due diligence. I've already looked up. I've gone to this website, greatforest.com. They're just a website based around waste solutions. And I found this diagram here. So I'm going to snag this diagram. I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to come back over into my Google Doc. Again, insert my drawing. Sorry if this is sort of repetitive, but you know, I think it's good to just see it done a couple different ways. Do my text box. We are up to figure 3. And what figure 3 really is it's a diagram showing the life cycle. Yeah, life cycle of electronics. And then we need to do our citation. So if I quickly snap that to red, let's boost it up a bit. Okay, let's do our citation. So where did this actually come from? This website, the folks is Great Forest, Complete Waste Solutions, but I'll just shorten it to Great Forest. So Great Forest 2024, close bracket, full stop. Boom. Save and close. There's my figure. Super big. Let's bring it down. Okay. Change the wrapping. So if I'm going to do some examples, I can do that. And then I just need to explain what this process is. I'll do my research. And then so like after I've done my explanation of the recycling process, I can then say shown in figure 3. Oops. Shown in figure 3. Technically it's shown in the diagram in figure 3. Okay. And that would come like right at the end of my big little paragraph. Okay. So if you haven't noticed already, every time I'm doing my report writing, I'm always actually referring to the figures. It's not enough to just have the photos there. You have to actually say, as shown in the diagram. Figure 2 shows, yeah? So again, high level kids, you would have the name of it, figure 2, and you'd be drawing it. Figure 2 shows. If I can't PR, I probably did it again. As you can see by figure 1, boom. So I'm always referring to it. I'm actually saying, hey, look at this. Because if I don't, and if I'm just saying, e-waste product can be defined as blah, 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 and I just have like a photo there, even if I've done this, it's still not high level. You need to be telling me, the reader, to then look at this. Because when you say, as seen by figure 1, I actually stop reading here, and then I look at the image. Like that's what I do as a marker. I don't look at this until you tell me to. If you don't, I'm just going to get to the end and pretty much skip it because I'm like, yeah, this is just fluff. Like it's just, you're just filling in the page. You know, same with here. I'm not even going to look at this image until you tell me to. So after this sentence, I would then take a look and say, oh yeah, it actually does show, you know, a recycling point. So that's a very important aspect of this. Let's come down to question 4. We're wrapping it up now. We just flip over my page of notes. So we need to analyze the impact. Yeah. So how does e-waste impact Australia? I've gone and done my figure already. So I've gone to this website, Hoxton, and I found this particular graph, right? Because again, in your 4 different diagrams, you need to have different varieties. So photographs, which there's a photograph, there's a map, there's a diagram, and then we're going to do a graph or a statistic here. Let me just take a sip of coffee. So I'm going to copy this, bring it over, do what I do best, insert a drawing, Control V, Control V, chuck in my text box, call it figure 4, always call it. And this really, it's a graph that is showing, oh no, sorry, not showing, let's use better words, indicating, because I've taken the time to actually look at this. It's a graph that's indicating the number of computers measured in millions of units, so we call that units per million. Units per million, and how they are discarded. Okay. And let me just bump that up. Make it red. Bold that front. This, like, bolding the front is just me being OCD because I like to always bold figure. I don't know, man. That's just me. I just like to be OCD. So, how they discard. Okay, so what's my citation? Hoxton. Hoxton are the guys who produce this for us. 2024. Now, if you're in university, you're going to be like reading articles from like 1990, 2021, and you have to have that date properly. But if it's a website, you can always check. Oh, there you go, copyright 2019. So that was the last time they actually updated this. So I would change that. Lucky I checked, man, to 2019, because that's the last time that they've updated this page. Okay. So that's done. We've got our figure. Let's put it in. And how do we even begin talking about this? So we're talking about the impact and how these recycling programs are working towards limiting the impact of it on the Australian environment. So you could do just one impact, but again, I'm modeling a high-level response. So I'd say one of, because I might do 2, or I might do 3. One of the main components of Australia's, goodness me, e-waste problem is computers. Goodness. I'm really struggling to type today. As evident in the graph shown in figure 4, there are vast numbers, and you could if you could figure out exactly the numbers of millions, you could do that. Vast numbers of computers in Australia, either in storage or in landfill, while only a relatively small amount being recycled. Okay. I would definitely recommend. It's kind of poor of me to not demonstrate it for you, but I would try and use solid numbers if possible. So if I've said, let's try it. You know what? I won't be lazy. Vast numbers of computers in storage or landfill. Okay, so storage, landfill. What's that? 2 and then 1.8. Let's call it 3.8. There are approximately 3.8 million computers in Australia, either in storage or in landfill, while only a relatively small amount recycled. Let's say that's probably half. Again, we're using the words approximately are being recycled. There you go. And what I would even go further to do is, even though I've referenced it to figure 4, and figure 4 has the citation in it, because I'm quoting numbers and sort of because I'm referencing the information, I would also put in a citation here, because it's always good to cover yourself, especially when you use numbers. The worst thing that I see is just like people will use, like let's say you didn't reference the figure and you didn't include the citation, and you're just telling me like there's 3.8 million computers in landfill. I'll be like, what? How do you know? Like, where's your proof? So when you put it like this, you tell me the figure, pardon me, and you put the citation in. That's chef's kiss. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. I would say, based on this beginning, this is just like one little beginning, for each of these questions, you would easily be looking at full marks. Easily. Now, there's one thing I haven't been doing the whole time, and that was my bibliography. And I purposely have left this to the end because I want to make sure that those who are here right now watching this, you know that you'll need to include this. As is with any assignment, you always include a reference list, even if the teacher doesn't ask you. So because I've got all my tabs open here, I'm just going to come across, copy paste them. So it kind of takes a while, but it's good if you know the shortcuts. Boom, 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 boom. All right. This is always good because then as a teacher, I can go back and just, browse and check. Yep, they're using a variety of different sources. So as for the formatting tips, you might have noticed in each of these pages, we've got just randomly student name, class code, and teacher. Double click on it, add in your own name, add in your class code. So I'm teaching 10 Hizzy 1. So this is me done. That's part of the formatting thing. Something else that I recommend you do is come in front of this letter P and then press Control Enter. What it's going to do is it's going to create a blank page ahead of all of this, because every good report has some sort of title page. So we're going to give this a title page. I'm going to call it E-Waste Survey and Report. Okay. By Sam Ashton. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Now, way back here, I just typed into Google e-waste wallpaper, and I came up with all these amazing little graphics. And I might pick, I won't be picky, I'll just pick this one. This one sort of was the coolest for me. So I'm gonna paste that in there. Now, this header you can get rid of if you're nitpicky. Just double click and then just do different from first page and just leave it blank. You can have it like that if you want. That's just a very basic thing. If you want to zhuzh it up a bit, go for it. But really, this is what the final product would look like. So once you've gone and done all of your reporting, I'd go to the end of my text, and let's say like my text kept going all the way to here, and then I would start to delete until I bring the next question up, because we don't want to have all these massive page breaks. So this is the next page. So we'll go to here. There we go. Oops, fix that up a little bit. Okay. And then we've got where did it go? There's a bibliography. So I'm going to tell you guys now that I don't want to see these questions written in the report section of it. I don't want to see these questions written out. I want you to do it a little bit, like come up with some subheadings. So if the question here is saying explain the concept, and there's a reason why I highlighted this, you could frame it as a question. It could be like, what is e-waste? Oh my goodness, sorry. What is e-waste? You can do it like that. And then that's your subheading. And then once you get to the end of that, you've got strategies to reduce our use in production. And you could just write strategies, like if you really wanted to. And then identify, for examples, the recycling process. Okay, so you could just do recycling process. This is an example. You can come up with your own, you know. You don't have to copy me with this. And then impact on Australian environment. Sweet. Oops. There you go. Now this is looking more like a geographical report. Of course, it's not going to be in red. You would have it in black, but I just had it in red to show. And then your bibliography can just start wherever. You can start on the next page if you want. That's it. That's all I've got. I don't think I would include anything else. Of course, more information. This is just starting it all off. But I hope that helps. Best of luck to everyone. I reckon you're all going to crush it if you've watched this video, because you've heard my thought process. And yeah, personally, because I'm a nerd with geography, and I really hope that you guys actually pick geography next year for your HSC, because I'm going to be the teacher who's running it, and I'll be the one teaching you. This is sort of the stuff that we do in geography, which it's not for everybody, but I find it really fun. I love this sort of stuff. So hope to see you next year for HSC geography. All right, I'm going to leave you guys. Bye.